Clamor, loud continued noises. So like drumming, if you're a drummer, if you're at a parade, if you're the Blue Man Group, I think that's what they're called. You know, doing something that gets people, you know, revved up. What about marching bands? Marching bands that come out and get people revved up before a football game or whatever. So, yeah. I mean, again, there could be bad uses of this. But still, complaining. Who does not complain? Seriously. If there is a single person who does not complain, please put them in front of me and I will shake that person's hand. The only people who shouldn't be complaining are like newborn babies because they can't really talk, but as they, you know, are in the world for a couple months, they start to understand certain things and they will complain in their own way, crying because they're hungry or they're tired. Maybe even crying as they come out of the womb, you know, maybe it just wouldn't take that. That's complaining. I just got squeezed through a really small hole, you know, after being in a nice warm, comfy, wet blanket, you know. I'm very uncomfortable and I'm complaining about it. You know, I'm hungry and there's no other way to tell mom or dad that I'm hungry, so I'm going to cry. Hey, I'm hungry. That's complaining. Contentious. Quarrelsome. So, being the type to probably just start a fight, which this is bad. I believe quarrelsome means that people who are just looking for a fight for the sake of fighting. So, you know, that is one. There are some justified ones on here. Corrupt communications, unprofitable or impure language. I'm going to try and decipher what that means. Impure language sounds like something that also has to do with profanity. But it also sounds like something that could pertain to impure language. Maybe scams? But then again, technically, scams are profitable. Unprofitable language would be protesting. I think this is saying protesting. But people protest all the time against different things. People protest against people who don't practice Christianity. Unprofitable just makes me think of charities, which I'm not sure if that could be considered unprofitable language, you know, volunteering for something so-and-so. So, you know, covenant breakers, lightly breaking a solemn or legal pact. For me, a solemn pact, would that be your own pact? So like a code of honor? A legal pact would be breach in your contract of something, which for that I do, but lightly breaking it. What if you break it without realizing you're breaking it? That should be putting lightly in there just seems like, you know, there's zero tolerance to it. I'm not sure what a solemn pact would be. Covetousness? Covet. Covet means to attract somebody. So, if you have a girl or a guy you like, you're gonna go up to them and you're going to try and woo them in some way, whether it's being friendly or being like, hey girl, I just ran into that wall because I was too busy looking at you, so I'm gonna need your name and number for insurance purposes. I mean, yeah, that's really lame, but some girls would just be like, oh my god, he tried so hard. I've gotta see what this guy's got, because he's obviously very funny. Unless he comes off as a scumbag, you know, it's the curiosity, but that's not a problem. You know, other species covet. Peacock, a male peacock is, most male birds are much more beautiful than the female birds, so a male peacock will cock its feathers, its beautiful tail feathers. You've seen them, you know, and that's to attract a female who don't have those kind of tail feathers and are usually brown. Come on. Craftiness, cunningness. Well, sometimes you're going to need cunning in certain situations, especially if you're in a situation that you need to escape from, such as being kidnapped. I'm going to use those tools over there to break myself out of that window, and since we're on the 3rd story, I'm going to have to climb the lattice down, and I probably won't have time to run because he'll hear the noise and he'll come after me, so I'm gonna hide under the car, and as soon as he's looking somewhere else, I'm gonna hide behind that tree, and eventually I will make my way out. That's cunning. Even in fiction, when Harry Potter faced Lord Voldemort in the 4th book, his cunningness was to... Well, he just thinks on his feet. I guess it's not really cunningness. Let's do it the other way. Let's do it on the other side. Whereas the situation wasn't good. No, because I need to make it in a positive light. Well, Harry Potter's obviously shown cunningness in many situations in all of the books, and so is Hermione. Hermione is definitely cunning. You know, she figured out that it was a basilisk in the second book. You know, you need cunning to do things like that. It's a sign of intelligence, honestly, and intelligence can be used for both good and bad. Debate. You debate teams out there, you're going to hell, okay? So if I'm in a debate of whether or not Mark David Chapman was right in shooting John Lennon because he was inspired by the book Catcher in the Rye, let's see. I'm probably going to be on the side where I don't support Mark David Chapman. That's something that you're going to debate about, because you're going to be debating with the pro side, and you're going to be like, why the hell are you supporting this guy, you know? Or other debates. That makes every single politician... Well, politicians in general are corrupt anyway, but even if they're not, you know, even if they're good people in some universe, politic debates are going to send all those people to hell. Deceit. Deceiving somebody, tricking somebody. Again, it can be good or bad. You might need to trick somebody. Like being kidnapped. Let's see. An example in fiction. I'm thinking Hannibal. Not what Hannibal did to Will. Probably what Will did to Hannibal. What exactly did he do? How did they catch him? Well, Will tried to deceive him, and Hannibal almost took it. Will tried to make Hannibal believe that he killed Freddie Lounds and that they were eating her. Hannibal, with his advanced palate, should have known that it wasn't human that he was eating. Unless, I don't know where Will would have legally obtained human meat. And the only reason why Hannibal caught on to him was because even though he believed Freddie Lounds was dead, he smelled her perfume on Will. He, you know, with his advanced palate, he also had an advanced sense of smell. And he realized, oh my god, you know, I fell for this, you know, Freddie Lounds is alive, he's been lying to me, you know, and Hannibal, as much as I love him, he's the antagonist in the story, and Will is the protagonist. So he was deceiving Hannibal in order to catch the Chesapeake Ripper. In that situation, that's a good reason for deceiving somebody. Defiling the body, so like tattoos, that might even include makeup. Defraud. I know what fraud is. What's defraud? Illegally obtain money from someone by... Okay. Nah. That's justifiable. No, hang on. That's justifiable. Denying Christ. Well, the thing is, the facts are that the Christian religion's image of Jesus Christ is not real. This is fact. This is not to, you know, try and tell people to stop believing in their religion, even though I don't support, you know, organized religion. The fact of the matter is is that a man named Jesus Christ, who was a tall white guy with the beautiful long brown hair in Israel, did not exist. His name was, it starts with a Y. I know this. Duh! It's Yeshua. I don't remember his last name. I just looked up his first name. Yeshua, in his time and in his environment, would have been rather short. He would have been dark-skinned, and his hair would have been very kinky, black and kinky. I don't know. It's what white supremacists, believing that whites are the better coloring. I'm not going to say race because we're not races. It's like, I'm not going to go, I don't see race thing, even though technically the first thing I see about somebody isn't the color of their skin. But, you know, some people are really, really pompous about it. Like, I don't see race. I see us all as one collected race, blah, blah, blah. College humor made fun of it. It was really funny. But the fact of the matter is that his name was never Jesus Christ. Christ is not a name. Jesus is. I'm not sure if that's because of the fabrication of Jesus Christ. Christ is not a name. Christ is literally a synonym for Messiah. So anybody who is some sort of Messiah, Moses would have been Christ, you know? Denying Christ, say, if you are Jewish, if you are a Buddhist, if you're Muslim, which apparently we all hate Muslims, I guess. I understand hating terrorists, but, you know, being all like, all Muslims are terrorists, blah blah blah. I don't get it. But, you know, all these other religions who their Messiah is not Jesus Cristo, they're going to hell apparently, when they don't understand that everything they say is, and based on fact, is witchcraft. The Bible was written by at least 45 men, and the reason it was written, now I don't know, there's no way to prove that their intention was to make a book full of fairy tales, but the general intention of the book is to teach lessons, moral lessons. These things in the Bible didn't actually happen. They're there to tell you a story. And the Christian religion's view of Jesus Christ is inaccurate. Not only that, but the Bible refers to Jesus as both the Son of God and God. How can you be both? I mean, did he just like clone himself or something? Isn't that going against God? And not only that, but he performs miracles to the very, you know, T. The Bible predicts things that are going to happen to the T. Isn't that, you know, supernatural? That's witchcraft. Jesus Christ would have been a witch, and he would have been burned. He was crucified, but it wasn't because he could do magic things, you know? That's just, you gotta think about these things. You have to think about realism. Desiring the praise of men, doing things to gain praise. Let's go back to our actor who's playing Jean Valjean in Les Mis. So, obviously he's probably not doing it to gain praise. He's doing it because he likes to act. But he is going to receive praise. And human nature is just, you know, if we enjoy this and we share it with somebody, it's not that we expect praise, but we do like to get it, you know? Like, Muffins. My series Muffins. I wrote it for myself and decided to share it, and it just became super popular with not a large group of people, but like a percent of people, and I do get praise for it. I didn't expect it, and I wasn't doing it to get praise, but when you're used to getting the praise, sometimes you do expect it. And not only that, but it will encourage you to do these things better, to get more praise, to impress people. And that in itself is not a problem. The problem is like people who are on YouTube just to get subscribers. When people ask me, how do you get so popular? And I'm like, well, if you do things to get popular, you're gonna fail. So, despiteful. I know what spiteful means. Contempt or disdain. The theater only earns my despite. Okay. So, I know this one. But this one, I'm sure I use despite in this way, but when you think about certain words, you're like, what is that? So, again, that's something that can go either way. If, if, say, a movie director is using real animals when their movie shows animal torture, which has been done, by the way, you're gonna, be despiteful of that film if you like animals, which is a good reason to be despiteful. Dishonesty. This is one that I highly agree with. I don't like liars, and I don't believe people should lie. There are times where people will say that lying is beneficial, but in my eyes, one should always be honest, because honesty is always the best policy. And I mean, if you're doing it to save your life, it's kind of a different story. But in general, asking somebody if they accidentally broke something and that person says no,